If you watched our last episode, you will have seen us cruising through Leicester, trying to find a safe place to moor, and being unsuccessful. Here's Fry's Mill, where there weren't any spaces. So we headed on out of the city to Birstall, to moor near the Watermead Country Park. And that couldn't have been a better decision, even though we didn't know it at the time, because it was absolutely beautiful. We still wanted to explore Leicester city centre, so we got a very easy half-hour bus ride into the town. Pete wasn't too impressed finding a Taco Bell. That was his least favourite place to eat when we lived in America. But he was excited that there was a brewdog in town. How happy are you?
Sorry?
How happy are you? And we found a lovely French restaurant to have a postponed Father's Day meal.
It's a mushroom vol au vent.
What's the fancy word?
Champignon tart. Nice. It's got a crispy top. That's really good.
And then we headed back to the bus station. Pete went back to the boat and the dogs, and I went to Market Harbour to go and collect our car. The next day we had a last walk to the park and then headed into Birstall to do some last bits of grocery shopping. And there's Pete proudly showing off his Wesley shopper. Before we set off, Pete looked down the weed hatch and cleared all of the junk that we'd accumulated from our trip through the city centre from our prop, and we were on our way towards Nottingham.
What are you doing?
Driving.
Driving.
But it's really wide, so I don't think I can actually catch or go into anybody. And there's nobody to go into anyway. So I'm okay.
That's true. There is nothing to go into.
This was a really big deal at the time, me steering the boat, because even though I did the helmsman course, we'd fallen into the habit of Pete driving, me doing the locks, and I'd sort of fallen out of practice from it. We reached the outskirts of Nottingham to Beeston, and then my phone fell in the canal. You can see the high step up to the wall where we were moored in Beeston, and on one trip out of the boat I lost my footing, my phone fell out of my bag, and even though we had help from a local fisherman with his net, we just couldn't retrieve it. So goodbye phone. If you're familiar with the local area, you'll have noticed a huge chunk of footage missing between Leicester and Nottingham on the River Soar. That was what was still on my phone that had yet to be uploaded. So all we have are a few photos and a little bit of video from Pete's phone. We drove into Nottingham to buy me a new phone and also checked out the mooring for our upcoming stay there. This was one spot we were certain we were going to avoid because of the loud music.
We're going to get water and drop off our rubbish and empty our toilet cassettes. Well, I'm going to empty our toilet cassettes.
Because that's your favourite job.
because there's only one person on this boat that does that, apparently.
So the next day, complete with a new phone, we headed back to the water point to use the facilities, turned around and headed back to Nottingham.
Alright boy, just making these noises. Wants to come up. You haven't got your life jacket on, mate.
Expertly done. We found a nice place to moor, just a short walk from the city centre and next to our friends, as Pete was going on a business trip and it's nice to have somebody close by just in case of any emergency. Then we took the short walk into town. This pub claims to be the oldest inn in England. Join us next time as we meet up with our friends Fran and Rich from YouTube channel Floating Our Boat as we head out onto the River Trent together.